Hi guys, it's going to be a super busy day today, but I thought I'd bring you along so you can see what we've been up to. It's a holiday today, a public holiday, and we have so many things planned. We've got a sheep that we need to put in the freezer, and we've got a few things that we need to do over at the new section before the bulldozer comes back tomorrow. And then on top of that, we've had someone text us this morning asking if they can come and do a house viewing, so I have a whole house to clean up. So it's going to be quite the busy day. First up, we're going to be processing this sheep, and we have got a device called a captive bolt gun, which we've never actually used before. Previously, when we've put animals in the freezer, we've always had my brother-in-law or my father or somebody come and do the actual killing itself, and then I have helped with the processing. We do little animals ourselves, rabbits and chickens and ducks and that sort of thing, but not big animals. And so this is our first attempt at doing it ourselves with the big animals.
Waggle their way through it.
Yeah, you kind of have to attach a rope.
Oh.
Which sounds fiddly and might break.
Well, that was a real success. That captive bolt gun was surprisingly easy to use. I even did it, and the sheep went down really quickly, no problems. My goodness, I was so nervous. My hands were shaking really badly, but it's all done now, and the sheep is now hanging in the shipping container. We have grown up doing our own animals for the freezer, and I have helped skinning and gutting and all that sort of stuff, but every time I do it I forget how hard it is. Now nothing is going to waste. Talia is cutting the wool off of the skin, and then she's going to process both the wool and tan the hide, I believe, to try and make some leather with it, which will be pretty cool. And all the edible guts are going to the dog. I did consider keeping them for us, but then we had a wee bit of a blowout in the esophagus, and it just put me off. So we're not going to be using any of the guts for ourselves. However, the dog will quite enjoy them, I'm pretty sure, and the rest of them will get buried under a tree to feed the ground. We're going to leave the carcass to hang in the shipping container at least until tonight. We don't have a walk-in chiller or anything, so it depends partly how warm it gets today. It is winter, so hopefully it won't get too warm in there. We've got some fans on it. Once it's set up enough, I will butcher it and cut it up. I probably won't have time to do it tomorrow, so I'll have to do it tonight, I think, or maybe tomorrow night.
Can I have help catching the chickens?
Talia, can you take some time out of your busy day to go and help catch some chickens?
Okay.
How do you know which ones you've done?
Because I can tell the difference between them.
Oh, of course you can. The chicken's up and the food forests have finally finished molting, and now they've discovered that they've got wing feathers again, and they're jumping the fence. We found 2 of them jumping it this morning, so the girls are going to clip some wings to help stop them doing that. You got your net ready, Chloe? Get in there, get in there.
She jumped onto my arm. It's alright.
Chloe got one.
I got 2. But
You got 2.
One of them. Alright, we need her out. So I've already done her. Holding her. You're very sure you've done that one? Yes.
Do you want to double check before you let her go?
You.
It is genuinely so good having big kids that can help out around the place. These girls do so much. Chloe pretty much looks after the chickens. I think he has flipped the electric fence off the main fence. Yeah, there used to be a tree here. What have you done with it? You brat. Oh man, he's dug up my tree. Oh no, that fence is still up there. Nope, that fence is not on. Sometimes life just throws curveballs at you. Today we had thought we've got a day off, the weather's going to be beautiful, we will process the sheep, and then we'll go and spend the afternoon over at the new property dreaming and daydreaming and trying to work out where we want things to go before the heavy machinery leaves and it becomes much harder to do it ourselves. And then Matthew got a text message this morning saying, can we come and look at your property? And so we said sure, like the crazy people we are. So we've managed to tidy up, which took a little less time because we also had an open house on Saturday, so a couple of days ago. So thankfully it didn't take too long, whereas Saturday took me like 6 hours, and there were 3 adults and 2 kids. trying their best to clean up and 2 little kids doing their best to make a mess. We thought we'd pop over to the section just to mark out where the cabin slash what will eventually become our barn area is going to go, so that the digger driver can finish putting a roundabout around it during the week while we're in town doing things. But I thought I'd show you what he has done while he's been here as well. First things first, we have a driveway. And he has started to put in a bit of a pond to go with the drainage ditch. He's going to make it quite a bit bigger, but this will give somewhere for the rain to go in the meantime. And I actually can't believe what a massive difference the bulldozer has made up here. Right, shall we mark this out?
Yeah, let's do it then.
So we put these sticks in the ground where we think we're going to put the shed.
Okay.
If we mark the corral with this, then he'll put the road around the outside of that. Talia says she's pretty sure the packet said it was 8 metres.
And we need it to be 10.
Yeah, I don't know where her start is. There it is. So I guess our tape measure is also 8 metres, and try not to stand on that one with your muddy boots. The slowly bits, because I can't do both. We have 4 children. Why are we doing this by ourselves? I wonder if I could just drop this. Okay, now try.
Not even around the shed then?
No, it's not. The shed's going to be tucked in a back corner so that we can put, this end of it will put some yards out, and then there'll be a way of like funneling them. I'm not sure if it'll be that way or round that way onto a loading ramp.
Oh yeah.
So we actually want it to
not
be close.
In the middle, right?
Yeah. Gotcha. There's like spider webs everywhere. See, this was the other place that would be an option for building a house. It would be up here where it's flat.
Oh yeah.
But
that's higher, isn't it?
That's higher. That gets the sun way longer. When we were here when the sun was going down, here was in the shade and that was still in the sun.
Oh yeah.
So I think we'll do it up there.
Yeah, that makes, you want to maximise that as much as possible.
And the driveway would be shorter. The other thing I was thinking about getting the digger to do is to put terraces over there, up on that hillside, so we'll have the food forest at the bottom where those 2 big stumps are. Apparently when you're pointing with the camera you've got to point in completely different places. Not those two, those 2. Where those 2 big stumps are, we'll have food forest all around there, but we can drift it off down that hill, and so I'm wondering if we get him to put some terraces in down that hill. Next, over at the section, we need to wait for the bulldozer and the digger to create a roundabout around where we're going to be putting the barn and the cabin, and we're going to call that the corral, because eventually it will have a barn in it, it will have animal yards for us to catch the animals, and it will be like a corral or a barnyard for us to try and catch them in. And it's going to be in the centre of pretty much our entire property, so we will kind of wagon wheel the paddocks out from there. Despite this being my 3rd outfit change for the video, it's actually still the same day. I'm here waiting for the people that want to come and have a walkthrough of our house to arrive, and while they are, I'm going to show you what I've been up to in my dehydrator. I have grown marshmallow for the last couple of years, and I harvested the root off a 2-year-old plant, I think it was, and so I have popped it all into my dehydrator. I plan on making some tincture with it. It's particularly good for sore guts or upset tummies, and that is chronically something my husband has some issues with, so that's going to be for him. And in here also I have some comfrey, which I'm drying so I can make a comfrey salve, so I'll show you that when I make it as well. So this is the marshmallow root. As you can see, some of them are quite large and some of them were quite a bit smaller, but I will grind it all up and make something a bit smaller than what it currently is so that I can turn it into a tincture, and it does appear that that is nice and dry. Thankfully, I've managed to get most of what we needed to do today done, and the weather has been absolutely stunning. Certainly can't complain about that. It has meant that everything we've had to do has gone really smoothly, and it makes me realise how lucky we are to have such wonderful children that are able to be competent and helpful. They're not always like this, don't get me wrong. There are days where it is hard, but days that we really need to just dig in and get stuff done. Thankfully, the family comes together and the kids step up, and they've been amazing. Well, the viewing went well, so I am going to quickly whip up some of this comfrey salve before the family get home. It's a really simple balm that works really well for healing, and it's an anti-inflammatory as well, so it can help a lot with pain and with chronic like arthritis sort of pain or injuries on joints that need some help healing. It's a very simple recipe. It is 1 ounce of grated beeswax, and I put that in a glass cup. I fill it then to the 1 cup mark with some olive oil, and then pop that cup into a pot of boiling water and melt it all together. The one thing you probably should do is put a piece of fabric underneath anything glass that you're boiling in a pot. It stops the direct heat and will stop the glass from smashing. I've got 2 tips for using beeswax based balms in your kitchen equipment. One is to use the smallest container you possibly can, because it's less surface area to have to clean later. And 2 is to spend the time wiping it out with a paper towel or a rag before you try and wash it, because the more of that beeswax mixture you can remove with something you can throw away, the less painful it's going to be trying to clean it in your dishwasher or in your sink. Once that's done, I add a teaspoon up to 2 teaspoons. You want 0.1 of an ounce, which is about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons usually, of powdered dried comfrey leaves. You can use comfrey root, but I find it a wee bit harder to powder up, and I have lots of the leaves, so I use leaves, and they work really well. And then all you have to do is stir it really well and then pop it into some jars. And this will be shelf stable for a really long time because it's got no water in it, because you've used dehydrated plant matter. It's got nothing in it that can go mouldy. Hey, it's editing Dana here. I have just been putting this video together and have realised that it really is a highlights reel of what was actually quite a stressful day. And I just want to point out that it didn't all go beautifully smoothly. It's a very rose tinted view of how the day went. It was a success for sure, and we definitely got everything done. But that's not to make you feel like it was easy, or that the morning was really hard actually, dealing with that sheep, and it was the first time I'd done that myself, and it was a really big deal. And I felt really proud of myself afterwards, but I didn't sleep the night before, and it really has been playing on my mind, just the heaviness of taking something else's life so that we can continue to live, and we don't take that for granted. And also it was really crazy trying to tidy up the house with the toddler in it and trying to get it all done quickly so that we could get the thing done over at the other section before the bulldozer comes back again the next day. Life is not all sunshine and roses. There's a lot of hard work involved, and it's worth it for sure, but it's not easy. Thank you for joining me on this. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.